So let's move on to problem number 5. Please follow along as I read the problem aloud. 4 classmates were asked to decorate 1/5 of the bulletin board in a classroom. They divided the section to be decorated equally among the 4 classmates. What fraction of the entire bulletin board did each classmate decorate? So again, we want to start off by writing an sentence, because the sentences will make sure that our answers make sense. So you can take a look at the sentence that I wrote. It says each classmate decorated part of the entire bulletin board. So thinking about that sentence, I know that my answer has to be less than 1, because I have one whole bulletin board and they just decorated part of it. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to draw a picture, diagram, of this bulletin board. So here's my bulletin board, and I know, according to the problem, that they are going to decorate 1/5 of the bulletin board. So I am going to do my best to divide this bulletin board into 5 equal pieces so that I can show you that this is the section that all 4 classmates are going to be decorating. They're only going to be decorating a part of it, and then each one of them is going to decorate part of that part. So what we need to do is we need to take that 1/5 and we need to divide it into the 4 pieces that the classmates are going to divide. So, or decorate. So if I divide it into the 4 pieces, we can say that each one is going to decorate each one of these little pieces here. But I need to know what part it is of the entire bulletin board. So in order to do that, I need to know what this piece is compared to the whole. So I need to look and I need to see how many pieces of that size are in the whole. So when I see it divided out so I can see all of the different pieces that size, I can see that this one piece is 1/20 of the whole. So that's solving the answer using a tape diagram, using a model. But we can also use division. So remember, if we are dividing, we are starting with that 1/5. We are starting with 1/5, and we're dividing it by the 4 people, the 4 classmates that are going to decorate. So, fractions, if we are multiplying, dividing, we want to make sure that we're starting with 2 fractions. So I have my first number as a fraction. I need to make my second number a fraction. So notice this first step, I still have that division because all I was doing was making sure that I had 2 fractions. And now we are going to do our stay, change, reciprocal. So my first number stays. My first number stays. I change to multiplication, and I take the reciprocal of my second number. So I now have a multiplication problem, and I multiply my numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. I multiply my denominators. 5 times 4 is 20. And I get 1/20 using my math algorithm. So when I think about this, and I put in the 1/20 into my sentence, and I ask myself, does it make sense? Each classmate decorated 1/20 part of the entire bulletin board. It does make sense, because 1/20 is less than 1/5, and we know that we started with 1/5 and it had to get smaller. So we can see how our sentences help us to make sure that our answer is reasonable.